Our friend Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies is here. 704-800-4719. So what's up with the feds?
The feds have lowered the rate at more than we thought they would. So that means it's a time to refinance your home. Get out of your high mortgage rate that you received over the past few years when you bought a house. We'll do a rate and term. It's very simple, very inexpensive, and you won't even have to have a house payment until 2025.
It's crazy. So call them today, 704-800-4719 or homewithrichard.com for the Richard Toccato Companies.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
Welcome to the TJ Fanatico's Podcast.
Yes. Getting funky. Okay, so we got a whole new list that we start today, a top 5 list. And since we didn't do a podcast yesterday, a TJ's Fanatico's podcast, we're going to do 2 things on the list today to get caught up. So we'll do 2 of the items on the list. And how about that new intro, Riggins?
That sounded good.
Pretty hot, am I right?
Yeah, that sounded real good.
Speaking of hot, this Menendez miniseries that's been on about Lyle and Eric Menendez. The wardrobe and all from the late 80s, early 90s, those were all solid. And I find this a lot of times when they're doing movies or something that's supposed to be set in the 80s or early 90s, the dialogue is not right in certain cases. It's not true to form of what it was back then. Like several times in this movie, Lyle Menendez said some woman was hot. And we didn't say that back then. We said fine.
Okay.
She's fine.
Where
Nobody said hot back then.
were they in California?
Mm-hmm.
They were in California.
Yeah. And then another instance, he said somebody was a smoke show, which definitely nobody said back then. Yeah.
No.
Nobody said that in the 80s.
Well, I know one of the brothers spoke out, said this is not an accurate portrayal of what happened, so maybe that's what they were talking about. We didn't talk like that.
Yeah, that's probably the thing. It's like, oh, no, we did the shooting and all just exactly the way that happened. Our dad raped us. The whole thing, but we did not say anybody was hot.
Or smoke show.
Or a smoke show. That's just stupid. Okay, so we will get into the brand new top 5 list today and see how badly it will aggravate you because you're a little too sensitive. Coming up next.
More of TJ's Fanatico Podcast is coming up.
I have only a few important cards in my wallet, but they always seem to be in some state of disorder. So my wife got me the Wally Jr. MagSafe wallet for my phone from Distill Union, and now my most important cards are neat and organized at all times. Ladies, it's the perfect gift for the man in your life. Order today at acetj.com/gift and save 20% when you use the code ACETJ. That's 20% off when you use the code ACETJ at acetj.com/gift. Your man will love it.
Sure, it's critical, it's opinionated, but it's fun. It's the TJ Fanatico Podcast.
All right, we're going to take things a little bit differently with the new top 5 list. Riggins has come up with this list, and it may cause us to quarrel. We'll go by your list, Riggins, and if I think that it's wrong, we can quarrel.
Okay. All right, that's fine. That's fine.
The top red flags women should watch out for, or on a do not date list. Like top red flags women should watch out for, and not date the person, the guy. Okay. Number 5, guys who say all his exes are crazy.
A classic one.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I can tell you why I say
say it. Yeah, go ahead.
When guys say all their exes are crazy, I think they're lacking the, sounds like they're gaslighting.
Yeah.
She was crazy. She was crazy. If you're saying every one of them was crazy, there's probably, I don't know. You're probably not being truthful.
Yeah, or you do things that cause them to to act in a way that you think is crazy.
Exactly.
But the only thing that I would have to add to that or to disagree with you is that all women are crazy, whether they're exes or whether they're currents.
That's not.
You know, they've all got squirrels in their heads. Even the good ones are crazy at some point in time.
So maybe he's being truthful,
Well, yeah.
and he just sees right through it. He's like, they're all nuts.
I have done nothing to deserve the treatment that I've gotten from all of these bitches.
Yeah, right. I also think if he does it unprovoked, if he's talking about all his exes are crazy and he brings it up a lot, it's like, let it go. You know, she doesn't want to hear about that, or maybe she doesn't.
And I think a lot of times guys will do that because they actually just want to give off the message that they're over their ex, that there's nothing left between us. You are free to trust me, to date me, because I have no hang-ups with that other one. She was crazy. This is how crazy she was. Now, can you imagine my still wanting to be with her? No, I'm out of that. No strings attached. Gone.
Yeah.
So, but they go about it the wrong way.
They go about it the wrong way, and it gives the impression that they're very much still thinking about their ex, and they made such a big deal out of it. I think that's a big red flag.
You know, and especially if they say something that is a compliment to the ex and then follow that with, but she was crazy. I could never be around her. Like, my ex's boobs were way better than yours, but she's crazy and I'll never go back to her.
That's not good either. He's trying to soften the blow of giving her a compliment, but also saying, but she was crazy.
Yeah, and if a guy says something like that, whether he says the ex was crazy or not, you then just go.
Yeah,
you just got to get out.
I think so.
But what if his most recent ex was crazy?
That's one thing.
Like really, you know, tormented him and stuff.
Yeah. It's different than saying all of his exes are crazy.
But
if you've got one unique story, I don't think anybody would look at you crazy when you shared it.
But what has it changed though, where, you know, young women now, once they get onto something, then they're on guard for it so much, because they hear that all the time. If a guy says all of his exes are crazy, then it's something wrong with him. So if they hear about one crazy ex, then they're like, oh, he's talking about his exes being crazy. Ick.
No, I don't think so.
So they would grant you the one, you think?
I think so. If it's a good story, and you can then gossip about that girl with her.
That's what I think guys think that too, that they're giving, you know, gossip, because they know all women love to gossip. So if you say, if she's asked like, hey, where did you get that scar? Then you can go, well, my ex was crazy and she, you know, she threw me up over the hood of the car and I landed in gravel and I have these marks on my face.
Yeah.
You know, so that's fine. Just not saying that my last 5 girlfriends have all been crazy.
Yeah. Or giving her 3 more stories about that same girl.
Yeah, go ahead. It's just something about me. I'm a crazy girl magnet.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
But you're not crazy.
I've finally broken that streak with you.
Thank God I found you. You're normal. And number 4 on the list, guys with no friends.
Yeah, I think that's a big one because it means a couple of things. It could mean a couple of things. Number one, that he's going to spend a lot of time with you. And I think in every healthy relationship, you got to have a little bit of alone time. Not a lot, but some. And when he doesn't have any friends, you don't want him hanging on your coattails, wanting to go with you to book club or wherever. Hey, can I come? What are you going to leave me at home? That's the worst. When you're trying to go out and I guess I'll just sit here then. You're leaving me. You don't want that.
I think that's more of a deal with women than men.
Maybe it is.
But I mean, would you be that way, Riggins, as a single guy? You don't have a bunch of buddies you hang out with.
I don't have a ton of friends, but I've got a couple.
Yeah.
And we're talking about guys who have no friends. So I just think it could mean something that he's hard to get along with, or that he can't, foster healthy relationships with other guys. I don't know, but he needs to have at least one friend.
Yeah, I could see that. But what if he doesn't want friends but he doesn't hassle you about being with you all the time? He just kind of wants to be to himself.
Maybe that happens.
Is that bad?
I don't know. I would have to find out why he doesn't have any friends. It's like, it's normal to have friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's not normal to not have friends.
I don't have friends.
You don't have a single friend? That's not true.
No.
You go out to dinner.
I have admirers.
You have Michael, and you go out with him.
Like I said, I mean, he's a fanboy.
Okay, maybe. You had dinner parties with friends.
Jody's friends.
No, that basketball coach is your friend.
Again, he's an admirer.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm. Fanboy.
Maybe you don't have any friends.
I don't have true friends. I'm like Elvis.
Yeah.
Elvis didn't have any true friends. He just had clingers.
He didn't have a single friend.
Clingers. He had the Memphis Mafia, but I mean, were they really his friends? Would they have been his friends if he acted that crazy and everything? If he didn't have all that money and fame, who knows?
Yeah,
and that's just the thing. I'm so famous that I can't tell whether somebody's my friend or not.
Yeah.
For real.
What are they in this for?
Sad, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, but is it worse if a woman has no friends
Probably.
in a relationship? Is that more detrimental than if a guy has no friends?
Probably. It's more natural for a woman to have friends than it is for a guy. Guys, you always hear lone wolf, lone wolf. They're talking about guys. So I think it's more normal for men to not have friends, but it's very not natural for a woman to not have friends.
Yeah, that would be a red flag for me if I were dating and a woman had no friends.
Yeah.
Now, some women have a lot of friends and they put way more importance on the friends than they do on their relationship.
I'm sure that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's problematic.
Yeah. When they're using their boyfriend or husband as a prop for their lifestyle in front of their friends, that gets a little sticky.
Because your ex had a lot of friends.
Yeah, she was a social butterfly.
And you're not.
No, I would not describe myself that way.
And would she get mad when you didn't go to things with her and her friends that she wanted you to go to, or did you always go?
I pretty much always went.
Yeah.
I can't think of other than that wedding where I forgot my pants, which was true. I can't think of an example when I didn't go with her.
But didn't you complain?
No.
Did she know you hated it the whole time?
She knew I hated it, but
Yeah.
I put my best foot forward. Because then once I get there and I realize all her friends are lame, and then I become the star of the show, then it's fun. When everybody's paying attention to me, then I have a good time.
But I never understood that in a relationship, why you would want your significant other to do something that you know they hate. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
'cause
women dragging their husbands to the Nutcracker at Christmas. I mean,
Understood.
things like that.
But the list starts to grow and grow and grow, and then it becomes not, I don't like this. It's like, well, what do you like? That's the natural follow-up question.
Yeah.
And it's like, if that list is so small of things you genuinely like to do, then you just got to bite the bullet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, they're not punishing you by asking you. They just want your company because they enjoy something.
But I know that if I liked an activity and I knew that my wife hated it, I would never want her or kind of guilt her into going. And then if she agreed to go, then saying, and then you have to act a certain way or that's going to upset me. I would never do that. Now, I would do whatever she wanted me to do because men are supposed to be like that with their wives, whatever, makes them happy within reason. You're supposed to think of yourself last.
Yeah.
In a family situation, which I've always done. I've always put Jody first, the kids second, and then me. But everybody comes behind Jody. It's the way it should be. Mm-hmm. But I would never say, I know you hate serial killer movies, but I really need you to go to this one Friday night with me. And then have her go and then not complain about it. And if she complained about it, then I'd get mad and go, "Oh, you should have just stayed. I should have known," Because that's what women do. If they drag their husbands to something that they know their husbands are going to hate, and then the husband isn't, pretending to be all excited about it, then she gets mad at him for that.
Yeah. It's really about social situations with the women. Because can you give me another example of something that Jody absolutely hates that you would never ask her to do?
Mm.
Besides seeing somebody get their head cut off on IMAX screen? Because I kind of get. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know, because I do so few things that I don't have a whole lot of things that I do to begin with, much less things that she would hate. And in turn, she doesn't drag me to stuff that I hate either.
okay.
So, but I'm just saying, in general, using it as an example of husbands and wives.
Yeah, that's the trope, though, that the guy doesn't want to go to the fill in the blank, but women don't have as many of those. But they
Things
just
that they
refuse to want, refuse to do, or really don't want to do.
Yeah, but I think they do.
Like what? Like, I can't even think of something.
Well, I'm sure a lot of women, but that's the thing. Men wouldn't ask them to go. That's the difference, Riggins. Men don't ask women to go to things that they don't think the women will like. Women will bully a man into going to something that she knows he's not going to like, just because she wants him to go. Not that she wants him to go so he can be there and have a good time with her, but she wants him to go because she wants him to go, and she wants him to do what she wants.
Yeah.
I don't see a thing in the world wrong with a woman going with a friend, one of her friends, or by herself to see the damn Nutcracker.
Oh, that does sound awful.
Because I know a couple, they're not married anymore, but she loved the Nutcracker, and she'd drag him to that crap every year, and he hated it. She knew he hated it. But men normally don't do that. If, like when I went and stayed at my brother-in-law's camp in the swamp, Louisiana, if Jody,
TJ,
I mean, I would have never said, Jody, you'll love this, sleeping in this, in this camp and all that. Come on. And she said, no, I'll hate that, but I want you to go anyway. I would never do it. And most men wouldn't. Because it really comes down to the fact that deep down, men are nicer than women.
Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah.
Men are nicer.
Yep. See who lets you out in traffic. You're just trying to get out. The roads are backed up. The traffic's bad. Who's going to let you get out or get over more so than anybody else? The man will.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Women look at it like, you should have been here. I'm not letting you in.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. I know.
You should record yourself asking Jody to go to that fish camp with you. I would want to hear her genuine reaction to that.
It wouldn't even be for a discussion. She would just say, oh, yeah, right. I am not doing that. And then if I kept on and on about it, she would just like, shut up. You don't really want me to go. That's what you don't really want me to go to that.
No, then you got to stick to your guns, and that way you can have it in your back pocket. So when she asks you to do something crazy, like, well, you didn't want to go to the fish camp with me, even though the whole time you didn't want her there anyway.
Oh, I would have loved for her to be there.
Why? That's not
because I like being together, Riggins.
That's a
all
guy's
the time.
Trip. Guys are farting and they're gross and stink, and that's not a place for a woman. Yeah. That's barely a place for a man. I saw the pictures. that was shocking.
Yeah. No real luxury at that whole thing.
Not even the faintest whisper of luxury.
It was awesome though. I love it. I'll try to think of something though that I could ask her to do that she would hate. But I mean, it would just be like, you're ridiculous. I'm not even, if she responded at all other than, yeah, right.
Find one that's the equivalent of a woman asking her husband to go to the Nutcracker every year, and I'll give you the trophy. Because that, to me, is the epitome of that scenario.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. Now, I'm not talking about if your daughter is in it or something. Not that Nutcracker. But a Nutcracker that just comes touring through town, and you love the Nutcracker so much that you want your guy to go with you.
It's the dance of the sugar plum fairies. We gotta go. That's so awful.
If you want to lose weight the safe, effective way, then you need Calotren. Calotren is not a drug, but it's scientifically proven to help you lose weight. Order it today at toploss.com. Toploss.com. It's Calotren.